Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to see about the topic cardiac output measurement, and this is the last topic in the fourth unit. So just see cardiac output measurement. What is cardiac output? Okay, just think. It is the amount of blood delivered by the heart to the aorta per minute. That is in 1 minute or in 1 minute, how much amount of blood is delivered by the heart to the aorta. That's the measure of the cardiac output. That measuring is the cardiac output. So amount of blood delivered from heart to aorta per minute, it is the cardiac output. Normally for the healthy person or an adult, this cardiac output is about 4 to 6 liters per minute. Okay, normally it is 4 to 6 liters per minute. Okay, in 1 minute 4 to 6 liters of blood is delivering from heart to aorta. Okay, next, cardiac output is the stroke volume into heartbeat rate per minute. Okay, heartbeat rate per minute into stroke volume. Normally for measuring the cardiac output, there are 4 methods available: fixed method, indicated dilution method, thermodilution method, and impedance method. These are the 4 methods, that is fixed method, indicated dilution method, thermodilution method, and impedance method. First one, fixed method. Okay, so in this we are just analyzing by using the oxygen amount of oxygen. Okay, we know oxygen is entering into the tissues and it is releasing carbon dioxide from the tissues. So in this fixed method, the cardiac output is determined by analyzing the gas keeping of the organism. Okay, it is calculated by continuously infusing oxygen into the blood or removing it from the blood, and it so we know when we are breathing, the oxygen is entering into your tissues, or okay, or into your tissues, that is in blood. Okay, so by using the Fick method, we are measuring the amount of oxygen in the blood before and after passage. Okay, this is how in fixed method it is do. It is based on the amount of oxygen in the blood before and after the pumping of the blood. Blood from heart to aorta. So this figure shows the fixed method. So here in this, let I be the amount of infused or removed oxygen per unit time, and is equal to the difference between the amount of blood arriving at and departing from the site of measurement. Okay, so I is the amount of removed oxygen per in 1 minute. How much amount of oxygen is removed? That is equal to the difference between the amount of blood arriving and departing from the site. At a particular point, the amount of blood is arriving, and it is the difference between the amount of blood is arriving at a particular point or also departing from the particular point. So it just measure the amount of oxygen. Okay, so I is equal to CAQ minus CVQ. Okay, Q is the cardiac output. Okay, Ca, concentration of oxygen of outgoing blood. Cv, concentration of oxygen of the incoming blood. I is the volume of oxygen uptake by ventilation. Ca, so Ca samples are taken from the artery in the forearm. Okay, and Cv samples are taken from central vein through the cardiac catheter. From the above figure, it is shown from where we are taking the Ca and Cv. Here, indicated dilution. It is also known as dye dilution. So here in this we are introduced the amount of dye or radioisotope as an indicator in the blood circulation, and then measuring the concentration of indicator. So here we are using a dye, okay, dye or radioisotope as an indicator for this indicator dilution method. And then measuring the concentration of the indicator with respect to the time at the measurement site. Then we are measuring the concentration of the indicator, okay. These two, dye and radioisotope, are used as the indicator. Then we are measuring the concentration of the indicator with respect to time at the measurement size. Then we can estimate the volume of the blood, okay. So if we are injecting mmg of an indicator into the large vein, that is right heart, on the right heart, then after passing the right heart, lungs and left heart, the indicator appear in the arterial circulation, okay. After passing this LMG of indicator into the large vein, then it passes to the right heart, lungs, left heart, the indicator appear in the arterial circulation. So the presence of the indicator in the artery. So this indicator's presentation is detected by using a detector. So the output of the detector is directly proportional to the concentration of the indicator, and the detector is displayed on a chart recorder with respect to time. Okay, this is how the measurement takes place. So first this indicator, here we are using dye or radioisotope as an indicator in the blood circulation. Then we are measuring the concentration of indicator with respect to the time at the measurement site. So we are using mmg of indicator is inserted or injected into the large vein, okay. After it will passing to the right heart, lungs and left heart, the indicator appears in the arterial circulation. So the presence of this indicator is detected by using a detector, and the output of the detector is directly proportional to the concentration of the indicator, and the detector is displayed on a chart recorder with respect to time. Here dV is the incremental volume, dt is the sampling site time, dm mass of the indicator, then dV is equal to dm. Therefore concentration of the indicator C is equal to dm by dV. So this concentration of the indicator is denoted as C is equal to dm by dV. dm, what is dm? Mass of the indicator, and dV incremental volume. So now dm by dt is equal to C into dV by dt. We know dV by dt is equal to Q, that is the cardiac output. So therefore we can write the mass of the indicator is equal to QC into dt. So again we are integrating over time. We get m is equal to integral 0 to t QCT. So again that is equal to Q into integral 0 to t C dt, that is equal to m by, so from this equation Q is equal to m by integral 0 to t C into dt. C is the function of time. So the area under the curve is given by Q is equal to m by area of the curve. I think this figure is in your textbook. Just go through the curves, okay. So the disadvantage of this indicator dilution is the foreign substances is injected into the blood is also taken out for the analysis. We know we are taking the samples of blood. So when we are injecting this dye or radioisotope, there will be some foreign substances that will also taken for the analysis. That is the disadvantage of this indicator dilution. Next, thermodilution method. Okay, in this thermodilution method, thermal indicator of non-oleum is introduced into either right or left atrium, will produce a resultant temperature change in the pulmonary artery or in the aorta respectively. So here we are injecting what thermal indicator of a non-oleum. Okay, it is introduced in the right or left atrium. We are placing injecting this into the right or left atrium, and there will be some temperature change in the pulmonary artery or in the aorta. So the integral of which is inversely proportional to the cardiac output. So the cardiac output is equal to a constant x into blood temperature minus injected temperature divided by area under the dilution curve. So here the procedure of this thermodilution method is 10 millimeters of 5% dextrose in water at room temperature is injected as a thermal indicator into the right carrier. So here we are using the thermal indicator is the thermal indicator is 10 milliliters of 5% dextrose in water at room temperature. Okay, after mixing it with the after mixing, it is detected in the pulmonary artery by a thermometer placed at the tip of the miniature catheter probe. After this mixing, we are placing it on the tip of a miniature catheter probe. So here this is the block diagram of thermodilution method. Okay. So the temperature difference between the between the injected temperature and circulating blood temp, we are measuring some water indicator, right? So the injected temperature and the circulating blood temperature in the pulmonary artery is measured. We are measuring the difference between the injected temperature as well as the circulating temperature. Okay, so the reduction in temperature is integrated with respect to time. So it is integrated again with respect to time, that is shown in the above block diagram. Then it is displayed in the output unit. After applying corrections, the cardiac output is displayed in liters per minute. Okay. In this block diagram, it is shown thermistor for blood temperature, thermistor for temperature of thermal indicator. Okay, this is for blood one and this is for thermal indicator. Then again it amplifier, then goes to the integrated circuit, then to the microcontroller, then output or display unit. Then the last one, impedance method. Okay, just go through this figure alone. Okay, this okay, in this here what we are using is 4 electrodes are placed surrounding the thorax. Okay, here 1 2 3 4, there these are the 4 electrodes which are placed surrounding the thorax. The electrode pair and 1 and 4 are used as the current electrode. These 1 and 4 are used as the current electrode, and 2 and 3 are used to pick up the voltage across the thorax. Okay, 2 and 3 are used to pick up the voltage across the thorax. So the resistance of this is given by R is equal to rho into L by A. Rho is the resistivity of patient hematocrit and A is the cross sectional area of the thorax. L is the separation length between potential electrodes 2 and 3. L is the separation length between the potential electrodes 2 and 3. Okay. Next, also the volume of the thorax V is equal to rho L square by R. Differentiating this equation, we get dV is equal to minus rho L square by R square dr. Since we are using AC excitation, impedance Z is used instead of R. So we are using AC excitation and impedance Z is used in place of R. So dV is equal to minus rho L square by R square into dZ. By determining dV, then the cardiac output can be measured by multiplying dV with the heartbeat rate per minute. Okay, then the cardiac output is determined by multiplying this dV with heart rate per minute. We know what is cardiac output. What is cardiac output? Is the measure of stroke volume into heart beat rate per minute. So here the volume is dV, and then we have to multiply this volume with heart beat rate just to get the cardiac output. Okay, thank you dear students.